My wife flushed my wedding ring down the toilet at midnight, 12 hours before I had to coach our daughter's biggest game. The sound it made hitting the porcelain, that sharp metallic clatter, wasn't like gold or platinum would sound. It was titanium, aerospace grade. I'd designed it myself senior year of college, spent 300 hours with a jeweler getting the texture perfect. The surface was etched to feel exactly like a basketball. You could trace each tiny dimple with your fingernail. Jennifer stood there in our master bathroom doorway, breathing hard. Her hand was still hovering over the toilet handle. "This cheap titanium shit?" she said. Her voice was different, cold. "Ryan bought me white gold, Thomas. Real jewelry. Not this Walmart garbage you call meaningful." The water churned, that hollow rushing sound, 20 years draining away in 5 seconds. I didn't move, couldn't. My brain was doing that thing it does during games when a player goes down hard. Clinical observation, emotional distance, protection mode. "Jennifer, don't," she held up her hand. "Just don't. I'm done pretending this life is enough. Done pretending you're enough." Ryan Hayes, my assistant coach, the kid I'd hired 2 years ago, fresh out of Marquette, the one I'd been mentoring. "What are you saying?" She laughed, actually laughed. "I'm saying Ryan sees me, really sees me, not as Coach Parker's wife or Madison's mom, as Jennifer, a woman, something you haven't done in years." Down the hall, Madison's bedroom door was closed. Our daughter, 18 years old, senior year, 18.2 points per game, Iowa State scholarship, Division Thumbed future. She was asleep, had no idea her mother just flushed her father's wedding ring while talking about his assistant coach like, "Madison's engaged to him," I said quietly. Jennifer's face didn't change. "I know. I counseled them through your concerns about the age gap, remember? We're very close, all 3 of us." The floor felt unsteady. In 12 hours, I had to stand on that court. Friday night game, 1,500 people in the stands, Max Prep's live stream, Iowa State Scout confirmed attendance. And I had to coach our daughter while pretending everything was fine. The gym smelled like floor cleaner and teenage anxiety. 6:15 p.m. Players were stretching. Madison was at center court with her co-captain Kayla Chen, going through their pre-game shooting routine. Swish, swish. The net sound was like breathing. In, out, in, out. I stood at the sideline with my clipboard, blue binder tucked under my arm. The coaching philosophy binder I gave every freshman. Madison had gotten hers 4 years ago. Still had it. The pages were worn soft now, her purple pen notes in the margins. Ryan walked past. "Coach, ready for tonight?" 23 years old, square jaw, that easy smile, Madison's fiancé since Christmas. The cubic zirconia ring on her finger that he'd called real. "Yeah," I said. My voice came out normal. "Muscle memory, 22 years of teaching, 15 years as head coach. You learn to perform. Stevens Point's running that 2-3 zone. We'll need to attack from the wings." "Got it." He touched my shoulder, casual, friendly. "Hey, thanks again for being so supportive about Madison and me. Not every dad would be cool with his daughter marrying young." The words stuck in my throat. Madison jogged over. "Dad, Iowa State coach just texted. He's here. Section C." She was glowing. Senior night ceremony in 20 minutes. Ryan would walk her to center court. They'd announce her scholarship. 4 years of work, culminating in this moment. "You nervous?" I asked. "Nah," she grinned. That smile she'd had since she was 6. "I tell myself what you always say. Character is what you do when nobody's watching. Tonight, I just have to be myself. I tell my players every day, character is what you do when nobody's watching." I'd built my entire coaching philosophy on that phrase. Accountability, integrity, being the same person in public and private. But I was the one who wasn't watching. Ryan took Madison's hand. "Come on, babe." Pre-game huddle. They walked away together. Madison looked back, waved. I waved back. Jennifer appeared next to me. School counselor badge clipped to her blazer. She'd be announcing the senior ceremony in 10 minutes. Part of her job, director of student services, mental health coordinator, parent liaison. Everyone loved Jennifer Parker, the counselor who really cared. "Thomas," her voice was professional, public voice. "We should talk after the game, about boundaries. Boundaries? You've been very stressed lately. The team notices, Madison notices. Maybe some space would be healthy for everyone. 1,500 people were filing into the stands. Local news crews setting up cameras. The announcer testing his microphone. This wasn't the place. "We'll talk at home," I said. "Will we?" She smiled. That same smile she'd given me last night before flushing my ring. "Or will you avoid it, like you avoid everything that makes you uncomfortable?" The buzzer sounded. Warm-ups ending, players jogging to the bench. I looked at my team. 12 girls who trusted me, who showed up at 6 a.m. for practice, who'd bought into the philosophy that character mattered more than winning. And I had no idea it was about to get so much worse. Sunday morning, 9 a.m. The building was empty except for the janitor's floor buffer, humming somewhere near the cafeteria. I sat in my office, coach's office, 15 years of team photos on the walls, 2 state championship plaques, the 2/1867 record engraved on brass, my legacy. Ryan's playbook was on my desk, red Nike binder, worn faux leather cover with coffee stains. He'd left it yesterday after our mentoring session, that thing where I walked him through offensive sets for next year, when he might take over the JV team. I had opened it to review his notes, see if he understood the zone concepts. Page 3 was a play diagram, 4-out motion, baseline screen, normal stuff. Page 4 was different, handwriting between the basketball X's and O's, Ryan's blocky print, but not about basketball. Can't stop thinking about last night, the way she looked at me when he wasn't watching. Finally feel alive again. I turned the page. Jay says her husband is too broken to satisfy her. She begs me to fill what he can't. Prayer. Thank you, God, for this ministry opportunity. Jay Jennifer. My hands weren't shaking. That clinical distance again. Reading words on a page, just information, data. I kept turning pages, more plays, then more notes. Friday night games are perfect, 3 hours of freedom. He's always busy with press after. We have her schedule memorized. Every game is cover. Madison's game stats were highlighted in yellow throughout the binder. Her points, assists, minutes played, dates of every game. December 8th, 30 points, career high. January 15th, sectional semifinals. February 3rd, senior night. Ryan had been studying my daughter's performance, not to make her better, to know when I'd be too busy to notice him with my wife. The page crinkled as I closed the binder. That plastic cover stuck to my fingers. Gym floor residue, sweat, years of use. The snap when it shut echoed in the empty office. I stared at Madison's stats highlighted in yellow. Ryan had been timing his affair with my wife using my daughter's basketball schedule. The phone on my desk rang. Maria Santos, volleyball coach, my best friend for 15 years. "Tommy, you okay? You left the game last night without saying goodbye." "I'm fine." "You're not fine. I've known you since I started here. You're never short with refs, you never leave early, and you sure as hell never miss post-game handshakes." "What's going on?" I looked at the playbook, at the notes between basketball diagrams, at my daughter's stats used as an affair timeline. "Maria, if you found out something about someone you loved, something that would destroy them to know, would you tell them?" Silence on the line. "Tommy, where are you?" "My office." "Stay there. I'm coming over." She hung up. I sat there holding Ryan's confession, disguised as a coaching playbook. Every Friday night for 9 months, while I'd been coaching Madison, teaching her about character and integrity and being the same person when nobody's watching. I was the one who wasn't watching. If you've ever had that moment where you realize everyone knew something before you did, where you were the last person to see what was right in front of you, just type "blindsided" in the comments. You're not alone. Sometimes the hardest part of betrayal isn't the act itself. It's realizing you were living in a different reality than everyone else. Anyway, Principal Morrison was about to make it worse. Monday morning, 3rd period, my planning block, student knocked on my office door. Sophomore girl, Emma something, plays JV. "Coach Parker? This fell out of Mrs. Parker's gym bag at the staff meeting. I thought maybe you bought it for her. For your anniversary or something?" She held out a white gold bracelet, delicate chain, 18 karat, the kind that pools in your palm like liquid. I took it from her. Cold metal. Then warming from my hand, there was a charm, infinity symbol, tiny. You had to squint to see the engraving. J plus R. The bracelet made this soft, jingling sound in my hand. Thanks, Emma. I'll make sure she gets it. The girl left. I sat there holding jewelry I'd never seen before, never bought. White gold. Real, not titanium. Principal Morrison knocked. Didn't wait for an answer. Just walked in and closed the door. Edward Morrison, 58, 12 years at Lincoln High. Political animal who'd never met a difficult conversation he couldn't avoid. Except, apparently, today. Thomas, we need to talk about something that came across my desk this morning. He put a folder down, manila, typed label, then sat in the chair across from my desk like a man who'd been dreading this conversation. What's this? Anonymous letter, left in my physical mailbox. No signature, but it has specific details, times, dates, locations. I opened the folder, single-typed page, generic printer paper. Principal Morrison, you should know that 2 staff members are involved in an inappropriate relationship that creates conflicts of interest. Jennifer Parker, counselor, and Ryan Hayes, assistant basketball coach, have been meeting privately for approximately 9 months. Equipment room, December 8th, 10:47 p.m. Athletics parking lot, January 15th after practice. Multiple additional instances. This affects Mrs. Parker's counseling relationship with her daughter, Madison Parker, senior, engaged to Mr. Hayes. Someone needs to investigate. A concerned staff member. The paper was crisp, recently printed. My fingers left oil marks on the edges. Morrison was watching me. Thomas, I need to ask, did you know about this? I found Ryan's playbook yesterday. It had notes about my wife. Jesus, he rubbed his face. I was hoping this was just malicious gossip. But if you have corroborating evidence, when was this delivered? This morning, before school. I came in early to prep for the board meeting, and it was just sitting in my mailbox. Someone else knew, had known long enough to type this letter, to document dates, to leave it where Morrison would find it. I need to see Jennifer's counseling files, Morrison said quietly. Standard procedure when there's an allegation involving a counselor and a family member. What are you looking for? Conflicts of interest, inappropriate boundaries. She's been counseling Madison, right? About the engagement? I thought about Jennifer's words Friday night. I counseled them through your concerns about the age gap. She'd used her professional position, her counseling credentials, to facilitate a relationship with Ryan while Madison was the cover story. Yeah, I said, she has been. Morrison stood. I'm going to have to involve Detective Kim, school resource officer. If there's any indication of... He stopped. Thomas, Madison is 18, legal adult. But the timeline in this letter suggests the relationship between Jennifer and Ryan may have started when Madison was 17, and Ryan was coaching her. That's a power dynamic issue. The bracelet was still in my hand, jingling softly. J plus R engraved on infinity. Do what you need to do, I said. He left. I looked at the bracelet, at the letter, at Ryan's playbook still on my desk. 3 pieces of evidence, all pointing to the same impossible truth. And somewhere in this building, my daughter was in AP government, planning a wedding to the man who was sleeping with her mother. Principal Morrison knocked on my office door. Thomas, we need to talk about something that came across my desk this morning. The worst part about betrayal isn't the revelation, it's the waiting. The space between knowing the truth and everyone else finding out. That gap where you're living in 2 realities, the one everyone else sees and the one you can't escape. I went home that afternoon. Monday, 4:15. Jennifer's car was in the driveway. Inside, the house smelled like her lavender candles. NPR on the kitchen radio. She was at the sink washing vegetables for dinner. Counselor Jennifer, school mental health coordinator, mother, wife. Hey, she said, casual. How was your day? I put my bag down. The blue coaching binder, Ryan's red playbook inside it, the bracelet in my pocket. Fine, yours? Busy, 3 crisis interventions, 1 kid threatening self-harm. You know how Mondays are? She dried her hands, looked at me, really looked. You seem tense. Morrison wants to see you tomorrow, about your counseling files. Her face didn't change, didn't even flicker. Why? Someone filed a complaint, anonymous, about boundary violations. Boundary violations? She laughed, shook her head. Let me guess, some parent upset their kid didn't get the accommodation they wanted. This happens every semester, Thomas. It'll blow over. It's about Madison and Ryan. Now her face changed, smile gone, professional mask dropping. What about them? Someone knows Jennifer. Silence. The NPR host's voice filled the kitchen. Something about congressional hearings. Knows what? Her voice was careful now, counselor voice, therapeutic neutral. That you're sleeping with our daughter's fiancé. She turned off the water, dried her hands slowly, methodically. When she looked at me, her eyes were flat. You're being paranoid and honestly, controlling. Madison said you've been weird about her relationship with Ryan since they got engaged. This obsession isn't healthy. I found his playbook. He wrote about you. Jay says her husband is too broken to satisfy her. That's taken out of context. What context makes that okay? Ryan was working through some personal issues. I was counseling him, professionally. Those notes were part of his therapeutic process. The gaslighting was so smooth, so practiced. She actually believed I'd accept this. You counseled him through writing about sleeping with you, while Madison's game stats are highlighted in the same notebook? You're twisting everything. This is exactly what Madison warned me about. She said you've been possessive, controlling, that you can't handle her growing up and leaving. The front door opened, Madison's voice. Dad? You home? Jennifer's face transformed. Worry, concern, loving mother. Madison appeared in the kitchen doorway, still in her school clothes, backpack over one shoulder, the cubic zirconia ring on her finger. The one Ryan claimed was real diamond. Hey, sweetie, Jennifer said. Your dad and I were just talking about the college transition. He's having some anxiety about you leaving in August. Madison looked at me. Dad, you okay? The ring on her finger caught the overhead light. Fake diamond, no fire, just dull reflection. Ryan had bought Jennifer real white gold, had given Madison costume jewelry. I'm fine, Maddie. You sure? You've seemed off lately. Mom said you might be struggling with me graduating. Jennifer had already planted the seeds, already built the narrative, that I was the problem, the controlling father who couldn't let go. My phone buzzed, text from Maria Santos. Tommy, I need to talk to you, tonight. It's important. Come to my house at 8. I need to go out tonight, I said. Team stuff with Maria. Jennifer smiled. Of course. Take your time. Madison and I will watch a movie. Girls' night. Madison hugged me on her way past, headed upstairs to her room. Jennifer waited until she heard Madison's door close. Then she leaned close, whispered, You can't prove anything, Thomas. And if you try, I have documentation. 24 counseling sessions with Madison. Notes about your controlling behavior, your inability to accept her relationship, your concerning attachment. If you push this, everyone will believe you're the one with the problem, not me. She went back to washing vegetables. I stood there in my own kitchen, in the house we'd bought 19 years ago, where I'd taught Madison to shoot free throws in the driveway, where we'd celebrated championships and birthdays and ordinary Tuesdays. And I understood. Jennifer hadn't just been having an affair. She'd been building a legal case, documenting a false narrative, using her professional credentials to paint me as abusive, so when the truth came out, she'd be the victim. And Madison believed her. The doorbell rang at 7:30. I opened it. Ryan stood there, holding flowers. Hey, Coach, is Madison home? Thought I'd surprise her. He walked past me into my house, kissed my daughter hello, sat on my couch and put his arm around her while my wife brought him tea. The three of them, laughing, comfortable. A family unit I wasn't part of. I grabbed my keys, drove to Maria's. She opened her door before I could knock. Get in here. Maria Santos's living room smelled like coffee and old paperbacks. She'd been at Lincoln 15 years, volleyball coach, taught sophomore English, divorced, 2 grown kids in Minneapolis, the kind of friend who told you the truth even when it hurt. She handed me a beer, sat across from me in her reading chair. Okay, talk. So I did. All of it. The ring flushing, Ryan's playbook, the bracelet, the anonymous letter, Jennifer's gaslighting, the counseling files. Madison caught in the middle, thinking I was the problem. Maria listened without interrupting. When I finished, she was quiet for a long time. How long have you known? I finally asked. She looked up, guilt on her face. 2 weeks. Maria, let me explain. She leaned forward. Kayla Chen came to me after practice 2 Tuesdays ago. Madison's best friend. She was crying. Tommy, she saw them. Jennifer and Ryan, in the athletics parking lot, kissing. She didn't know what to do. She loves Madison like a sister. But she'd witnessed something she couldn't unknow. My chest tightened. Why didn't Kayla tell Madison? Because Jennifer's her counselor too. And Jennifer had already been telling Kayla that you were struggling with Madison's engagement, that you were exhibiting concerning behaviors. Kayla was afraid that if she told Madison, Madison would think she was feeding into your paranoia. The gaslighting went deeper than I'd known. Kayla came to you? As a mandatory reporter, she witnessed an inappropriate relationship involving school staff. I had a duty to report it, but I also had a duty to protect Kayla's identity. If I'd told you directly, you would have asked how I knew. That would have exposed Kayla. So I typed the letter, used the library computer, left it in Morrison's mailbox. Anonymous, protecting the source. The letter. The one that had started the official investigation. Maria, there's more. Detective Kim told Morrison she needs to review security footage, and she pulled out her phone. Ryan made passes at 3 other female players over the past 2 years. I have testimony. They were afraid to come forward because he's well-liked, and they thought no one would believe them. But when word got out about the investigation, they reached out to me. Pattern of behavior. Yes, and Tommy. She looked at me. Jennifer knew. 2 of those girls went to her for counseling after Ryan's advances made them uncomfortable. She documented their concerns, then recommended they not overreact because Coach Hayes is going through a difficult time. Jennifer hadn't just enabled Ryan. She'd covered for him, used her counseling position to silence teenage girls who'd reported his inappropriate behavior. Madison doesn't know any of this, I said. No, and that's the problem, because Jennifer's been building a narrative where you're the unstable one. Madison believes it. If you tell her now, without evidence, she won't believe me. Right. You need the official investigation, the documented proof, the pattern established by multiple witnesses. Then, when you show Madison the truth, it's not your word against her mother's, it's facts. My phone buzzed. Text from Madison. Dad, where are you? Ryan's here. We picked June 8th for the wedding, right after graduation. You'll walk me down the aisle, right? June 8th, 10 weeks away. I looked at Maria. What do I do? You wait. You let Morrison and Detective Kim finish their investigation. You gather evidence, and when the time is right, you show Madison everything. But Tommy? She reached over, squeezed my hand. Prepare yourself. When Madison finds out the truth, she's not just losing her fiancé. She's losing her mother, too. Her whole reality is about to shatter, and she's going to need you to be strong enough to catch her when it does. I drove home at 9:30. The house was dark except for Madison's bedroom light. She was probably texting Ryan, planning a wedding, picking flowers and venues, and dreaming about a future with a man who'd been using her as cover for an affair with her mother. I sat in my car in the driveway, looked at my left hand, the tan line where my titanium ring used to be. 20 years of marriage, 18 years of raising Madison, 15 years building a basketball program on values like integrity and accountability and being the same person when nobody's watching. And I'd missed everything happening in my own house. The front door opened. Madison stood silhouetted in the doorway. She waved. I waved back, got out of the car, walked up to my daughter. She hugged me. Dad, we picked June 8th, right after graduation. You'll walk me down the aisle, right? Over her shoulder, I could see into the living room. Jennifer stood there, watching, smiling. My wife smiled. Detective Laura Kim's office smelled like burned coffee and printer toner. Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. She'd called me in before school started. Laura Kim, 39, school resource officer for 3 years, former Madison PD, the kind of cop who actually listened before making judgments. She closed the door, locked it. Coach Parker, what I'm about to show you is part of an active investigation. Principal Morrison authorized your viewing because you're directly affected. But this doesn't leave this room, understood? Yes. She sat at her desk, opened her laptop. We pulled security footage from Athletics Hallway Camera 4. It covers the equipment room entrance, the coaching offices, and the back parking lot access. Her fingers moved across the keyboard. Click, click. The speakers made that loading sound. The screen showed black and white footage. Grainy. Timestamp in the corner, December 8th, 10:47 p.m. "This is the night of Madison's career-high game," Kim said quietly. 30 points against Stevens Point. The hallway was empty. Then Jennifer appeared from the left side of the frame. Ryan from the right. They met in the middle, outside the equipment room door. 4 seconds. That's all it took. Ryan's hand on her waist, Jennifer's head tilting up. The kiss. His other hand moving to the small of her back, her fingers gripping his shirt. The timestamp blinked. 10:47 p.m. I'd been in the gym at 10:47 p.m., doing post-game interviews, answering questions about Madison's performance, talking about her senior leadership, her Division I future, 50 feet away. Kim's keyboard clattered. Another file opened. January 15th, sectional semifinals. Madison had 22 points. Same hallway. 11:15 p.m. Jennifer and Ryan again. Longer this time. His hands in her hair, her back against the wall. I'd been at 11:15 p.m. breaking down game film with the stats keeper. Another file. February 3rd, senior night. The footage showed the parking lot. Ryan's car. 2 figures in the front seat. Unmistakable silhouettes. While Madison had been accepting her scholarship announcement. While I'd been taking team photos. While 1,500 people had been celebrating my daughter's future. Kim closed the laptop. The click was loud in the quiet office. "There are 8 more timestamps, Coach. I've documented them all. The pattern is consistent. Every Friday night game for 9 months. Sometimes in the equipment room, sometimes the parking lot. Twice in the coaching office wing after everyone left." My hands were flat on my knees. I could feel my pulse in my fingertips. "Detective Kim, I need to ask, where was Madison during these times? According to your game schedules and press obligations, Madison was always either on court, in post-game team meetings, or with you doing media. She had no way of knowing. They timed it. Yes, they used her game schedule to know when you'd be occupied and when she'd be with you. Coach Parker," Kim leaned forward. "I'm a mandatory reporter. Now that I've confirmed what's on these files, I have to report it to the district attorney. This investigation is out of your hands. The DA will want to interview you, your wife, Mr. Hayes, and likely Madison. There may be employment consequences. There will definitely be..." Someone knocked, hard. "Detective Kim," Principal Morrison's voice. "We need you in my office, now." Kim looked at me. "Stay here. Don't talk to anyone yet." She left. The door closed. I sat alone with her laptop, screen dark now. But I could still see those timestamps. December 8th, January 15th, February 3rd, every game, every Friday. Every moment I'd been proud of Madison, coaching her, watching her shine. They'd been using it, using her, using me. My phone buzzed. Text from Madison. "Dad, can you take me to look at wedding dresses after practice today? Mom's busy with appointments." The door opened. Kim was back. Principal Morrison behind her. Morrison looked sick. Gray. He sat down without being invited. "Thomas, I've reviewed Jennifer's counseling files, all of them, including her sessions with Madison." He put a folder on Kim's desk. Manila. Thick. "I need you to hear this." He opened the folder, pulled out papers, district letterhead. Jennifer's signature at the bottom of each page. "These are professional counseling notes, dated over the past 6 months. 24 sessions with Madison Parker, your daughter, regarding..." He stopped, took a breath. "Regarding concerns about your behavior." My behavior. Jennifer documented that Madison came to her expressing worry about your controlling tendencies regarding her engagement to Ryan Hayes. She noted your inability to accept Madison's autonomy, your possessive behavior, your concerning attachment to Madison that may be inhibiting her healthy separation process. The words landed like punches. Jennifer documented 24 sessions where she counseled Madison through concerns about me? Yes, and in each session, she noted that Ryan Hayes was providing Madison with a healthy alternative relationship model, and that his presence was helping Madison establish appropriate boundaries with her father. Morrison pulled out another page. His hand was shaking slightly. Session 17, February 3rd, the night of senior night. He read aloud, voice flat. Subject continues to express concerns about father's controlling behavior regarding engagement. Subject reports father has been increasingly distant and hostile toward fiancé RH. Fiancé provides healthy alternative relationship model. Recommend continued support for subject's autonomy and validation of her choice to establish independence from father. Es ist desperandilistois inversumsfries.